But I personally believe that Obamacare, aka the Affordable Care Act, saved my life.
Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Okay, let me say right out of the gate, absolutely nothing about this video, not the thumbnail, not the title, and certainly not the content is clickbait, okay? What you're about to get in this video is exactly what you were looking for if you clicked on it, so go ahead and be sure of that. In the second place, let me assure you that absolutely nothing about this video is intended to incite a riot, to bring up angry feelings or poor attitudes among us. It's certainly not about that. It's simply about me being honest and open and sharing with you that I personally believe, and it's my personal belief, may not be yours, but I personally believe that Obamacare, aka the Affordable Care Act, saved my life, okay? That's what we're talking about today, and that's it, okay? So no need to get angry, no need to get upset. That's what I'm talking about. This is my personal story that I'm sharing with you, and perhaps your story will be similar. Now, with that said, back up in my life to 1975, I was born with a congenital heart defect known as transposition of the great vessels. I lived basically in cardiac failure my entire life, okay? I had a corrective surgery at 6 months old, helped a tremendous amount, at least allowed me to survive, allowed me to have a pretty good life growing up, but nonetheless, I was in heart failure my entire life. Now, with that being said, as time went by and as different situations arose in my life, I became ultimately uninsurable, okay? I left the job I was at. I'd been at for about 12 years, had group coverage, cut and dry, that's the way it was. I chose to take a different path in life, lost my current healthcare insurance because of such, and by that point, I was uninsurable. I was considered to be a pre-existing condition. I guess that's all I really was pre-existing, but my condition was pre-existing. I could not be insured. I tried absolutely everything to gain insurance, could not do it, hands down. No government programs, no state-led programs, no public insurance, nothing would insure me, okay? I was just not insurable. That's a fact. Now, with that being said, fast forward in my life all the way up until about 2008-ish, something like that. Barack Obama is elected, and yeah, if you want to know personally, I didn't vote for him because, to be honest, I didn't vote. So, okay, if I don't vote, I can't complain. I didn't vote. I didn't vote for him or anybody else. So, but anyway, he was elected. He was brought in, and one of the things that he had promised was what would be called ultimately the Affordable Care Act. Now, we all call it Barack Obamacare or whatever. I guess that's a snide remark, but anyway, it's what it is. He's the one that had it placed in. At least it was under his administration that it was brought in. I didn't care about anything at the time except for the fact that the Affordable Care Act / Barack Obamacare was promising to do away with pre-existing conditions. That meant that if I walked into any insurance company that I could choose out of thin air, such as Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama, which I did, if I walk into their office, I apply for insurance, I could not be denied for a pre-existing condition. Now, the loophole in that was the affordable part of this never really came around. The loophole in that was I was placed into a risk pool of people through which my insurance was extremely high and very expensive, but at least I could get some. Now, in the sandwich between those 2 points, again, I was in stage 4 heart failure. I was being told verbally, Jim, you need a heart transplant. There's no way around it. You've got to be transplanted or you're going to die. Now, basically, when they put me through the first evaluation process, which I went through 4 ultimately, that's not the discussion today. When they put me through the first evaluation process, I got as far as finding out that if I did not have a way to pay, that is an affordable or a reputable source such as an insurance to cover my transplant surgery, I was not a candidate. So basically, even though I got all the way through the whole process, it was definitely confirmed that I needed a transplant. I was going to be able to get the transplant. I was going to be a good candidate for such. Because I did not have an insurance at the time, I was rejected. And they basically said, sorry, but not sorry. We're not going to be able to transplant you without health insurance. Now, I did a whole lot of stuff in the middle of that. I fussed, I fought, I stomped. I had governors, literally governors calling me on the phone, literally calling me back, returning my calls, governors, governors' wives, senators, congressmen, everybody calling me, talking to me about this. There was no way around it. I just didn't have insurance. I ultimately went to Washington, D.C., had a sit-down meeting with some of those same guys, tried to talk them through this, tried to come up with a solution. It wasn't happening until Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, was passed. And I'm not a guy, believe me, I'm not a guy who follows government. I don't have a dog in that fight as far as I'm concerned. Personal opinion, maybe not yours. I never watch the evening news. As a matter of fact, I hate the evening news so bad I don't even watch the weather. Okay, I just look at my watch or look at my phone to see if it's going to rain tomorrow. I just don't get into that. But here was an opportunity for me to have the life-saving insurance, which I did. Now, here's the way I absolutely know, without a shadow of a doubt, that this stuff saved my life. Because I had been rejected for transplant, told I could not be transplanted because of the insurance or the lack thereof. Then, the moment that Obamacare went into effect, the moment I qualified for that risk pool and went into it, purchased insurance, I go straight back to my transplant center, boom, wham bam, I'm listed. Okay? The only issue I had leading up to that was stopping me from being listed was a lack of insurance because I was no longer able to be denied because of my pre-existing condition. I got it. I was listed. I was transplanted. That is absolute fact. Now, it doesn't matter if you liked any of the former presidents, any of the current presidents, any of the future presidents, any of the government, any of the administration. That's what happened for me. Now, again, I say it's not necessarily been affordable. As a matter of fact, there are tons of people right now who are falling into a little gap right there where they make too much money for this and not enough for that, who are not getting affordable health care. They're not getting the choices that they hoped they would. They're not able to pay the premiums that they hoped they would. And they're still out of luck. However, for me personally, it worked. And I'm absolutely sure that is the case for many of you watching this video because of the fact that pre-existing conditions were done away with, abolished. You have had an opportunity at life that you would not have otherwise gotten. Now, that's the story of my life. Again, I'm not looking to argue. I'm not looking to fight. I doubt you would really want to. Would you fight with a guy like this? Look at this face. Look at that. Look at that face. That's a mama's face, right? See? You wouldn't want to argue with me anyway, but nonetheless, facts are facts. Now, should it ever be changed? Yes, there are changes that need to be made. Should it evolve into something different? Perhaps. I agree with all that stuff. I do 100%. I don't know how we're going to pay for this for the next 10 million years, not that long, but for the next century even, with things like they are. However, if anything holds true and consistent, let's pray to God. If that's what you do, let's pray to God and say, look, do something, but allow us to have insurance. Now, I guess if that doesn't work, I'll move to Canada, move somewhere where they give me insurance without this problem. But right now, I'm a current resident of the United States. I'm happy to be such, and I'm happy to be alive. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all that you do for my channel. I've got 370 plus videos strewn across this channel, all of which I think overall will help you with your transplant process. I would encourage you, there'll be some videos popping up here on the sides. You're on YouTube anyway, go ahead and click on one of those videos. Maybe it'll be a benefit to you. While you're there, give me a big like, a thumbs up, and be sure to comment below. Be kind, but comment below. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, stay stronger, friends.